So I don't budget perfectly and I don't have a crazy income. But these 7 money rules has actually made my finances much better and I feel much calmer afterwards. If you follow just one of these, you'll probably save more money than most people in just 30 days. And also, rule number 6 is one of the ones that many people always forget, so stay tuned for that one. And if you want simple, realistic money rules that actually work, then hit subscribe. I have no hype, no get rich quick stuff, just practical money tips. So let's start with rule number 1. Pay yourself first. So basically, you can't save what you don't see. So basically, you don't have any money left. You spend first and think about savings after. You want to do it the reverse way. So set savings before the spending, not after. That is the most important part of the whole spectrum here. Even with just small amounts can make a big difference. Me, myself, I started with less than $50 every single month to invest. And nowadays I invest so much more, maybe even $300 or more every single month. So where you start does not matter. It's how long and consistent you can be. So for example, just set up an automatic transfer for maybe $50 to $100, depending on your situation, and start there. Because it is, as I said, the consistency over time that matters most. And then we have rule number 2, which is fixed costs stay boring. So basically, your rent, yes, it stays boring, but you have other things as well. Your subscriptions, your phone, other plans you have. These here are very regular spendings, and they're pretty boring. But if your fixed costs are very high, you want to look into them and see what you can do about them. Maybe you can reduce the price of your phone plan. Maybe you can take the bus instead of the car a little bit more this month. Different things that you can use to reduce the spending of your boring fixed costs. And if you do this just once a month, that's gonna make a massive relief on yourself. So it's just a one-time effort really. Then we have rule number 3, which is 1 money check-in per week. So you want to have a check-in where you basically check over your spendings and you don't have to have this daily obsession. How much do I have left to spend? Have I overspent? If you just check in a little bit now and then, every week basically, then you don't have this end of month panic that most people have. Basically, I have overspent. How am I gonna make it to the end of the month? How am I gonna make enough money to cover the rest of the month? What's left in the budget? All these panic and stresses you might feel, you don't need that if you just do a little weekly check-in. So it can take 10 minutes. Check your balance, check your spending, and check your upcoming bills. So for example, I'm using a finance app where I can see my upcoming bills. And it will tell me this bill comes around in 7 days, so I'm ready already for it. So the key point there is basically that awareness beats motivation every single time. Then we have rule number 4. I always know my spending number, which basically means that I know how much I can spend every single month guilt-free. Because this number here comes after I've saved, it comes after all of my bills. So it's basically I give myself guilt-free money after I've had everything else covered. So maybe I have $300 in the month where I can spend guilt-free. And because I have planned ahead already before, I can then use this guilt-free money however I wish. And this gives me the security of that I'm not able to overspend accidentally. And it actually also makes me feel like I live under the limit, which is really good. And it makes me feel much more calm in my financial situation. And it removes the stress around money that you might have, because sometimes you're spending something on a little purchase and you're like, oh no, how am I gonna make it to the end of the month now? But if you have a save spend money pot, then you can feel calm because you know everything else is already covered with your bills. Rule number 5. Lifestyle inflation is a massive trap. Usually a raise means that your lifestyle increases. You're spending more, you're getting that new phone, you're upgrading your plans, and out of nowhere, it's basically that you didn't get a raise at all because now you're spending so much more, so it didn't help you in your financial situation to get that raise. So what you want to do first is increase your savings and then your lifestyle. Because I've been there myself when I got a raise and I started spending even more, and I just felt like, but why am I having this extra money if I'm not gonna save it for my future? So what I do nowadays, if I'm getting a commission or I'm getting a bonus or anything like this, I save it all first and making sure that I'm not giving myself this lifestyle creep, because that is gonna ruin you in your future. An easy way to think about this is that earn more, save more, and then upgrade. That's the 3 steps, easy to remember. And that makes me go into rule number 6, where every month has a low spend focus. So every month I like to have a new thing where I try to reduce my spending in that. That could be as easy as taking the bus a few times instead of the car, because I might not need it, or I can walk the distance. So for example, not long ago now, my car broke down. It made me realize that I can walk to the store instead, and that makes me save so much more money, because I'm not driving all of these short distances because you feel like, I don't want to run around with all the groceries. But actually this has built up a little bit more of my conditioning as well, because I walk more, I feel more happy, and I feel well rested as well, just because this small little habit. So for yourself, if you want to do a category focus this month, focus maybe on a subscription, some food. Are you eating out a lot? Maybe try this with transportation as well. It might help you a lot. So if you focus on some of these and try and reduce them a little bit, that will help you a lot. And it actually makes saving feel much more manageable and not something that is restrictive either, because you're not removing something, you're just being flexible and just reducing your spending instead of completely removing something, because that can feel very overwhelming. Then we come to rule number 7. I track progress, not perfection. So what do I mean with this? Well, of course, I do have bad months as well. The most important thing is not having a bad month all the time. It's totally normal to have a bad month. It's not about that. It's about that you want to have as little spending mistakes as possible, instead of having many big spending mistakes all the time here and there, and then all of a sudden you have nothing left. So I can almost guarantee that if you try out these different rules that I have, then you're gonna see progress. And please check over your progress. After 6 to 12 months, you're gonna look back and you can say, oh, actually, I've made a massive progress in my wealth building journey because I managed with these different rules. Perfect months don't build your wealth. It's being consistent, as I said in the beginning of the video. So if you found anything of this helpful, I do have another video covering how I save money even on a lower income. This is something that many struggle with now. You might feel that you don't have enough income. With this video here, it will help you be able to find these leaks, where you can find your money, and start saving today. And one of those mistakes actually feel like it's harmless, but quietly cost people thousands of dollars every single month. So go watch that next, and I'll see you there. And don't forget to subscribe before. Thank you very much, and goodbye.